please.
Ed Antaramian.
Who?
Good evening. I'm Ed Antaramian. I had the privilege of being...
Your address, please, sir.
I'll get there. I had the privilege of being the former city attorney for the city of Kenosha. I live at 33831 Bassett Road. At the last Common Council meeting, 15 of the 16 of you were kind enough to give me an ovation, of which I greatly appreciated. One of you, however, chose at that time to remain seated and stare. Antipathy such as that separates you as a body from the workers of the city. It is because of my love for the city and my respect for this body that I took the time to come here tonight. It may not be the sweetest message you will hear, but I feel it is important and brought to you because of my respect for this body. I was born and raised in Kenosha, as was my father before me, and my wife and my 4 children. The city has been my home and the community I love. Professionally, I've been practicing law for over 38 years. 29 and a half of those have been for the city of Kenosha. I started with the city in 1987. I've worked under 5 mayors, beginning with Mayor Bellotti, 7 city administrators, beginning with Mr. Serpy, and 17 iterations of this Common Council. I've been appreciated by my peers. I was president of the Kenosha County Bar Association, president of the Municipal Lawyers Division of the League of Wisconsin Municipalities, State Bar's Attorney of the Year for the WISLAP program, and I've successfully argued before the 7th Circuit Court of Appeals. I've been of record in federal courts in Wisconsin, California, Nevada, Texas, Michigan, and Florida, and in state courts in 5 southeastern Wisconsin counties. I have some experience that I hope you can appreciate. I have 3 concerns with the presidential direction that this council has been taking. First, good legislators understand that pursuant to the Wisconsin statute 62091A, all the persons are elected as officers of the city, not as officers of their district. No one has and no one should have special powers for their district. The statutes do not contemplate the creation of fiefdoms. You are an officer of the city, and that is where your fiduciary duty lies. Moreover, city services are zero-sum enterprises. Plowing more snow in one district results in less plowing everywhere else. Same with pothole filling, tree trimming, park maintenance, etc. Please don't ever confuse your duty as an officer of the city as a whole to placating a person in your district. This leads to the second issue, micromanagement. Teddy Roosevelt said, "The best executive is the one who has sense enough to pick good men to do what he wants done, and self-restraint enough to keep from meddling with them when they do it." I've seen a distinct attitude that legislators, not all, by virtue of their election, magically become endowed with superior knowledge. Prime example is snow plowing. Despite never having driven a plow through the night, they can criticize. To paraphrase Kenneth Tynan, a critic is a man who thinks he knows the way, but can't even drive the car. Let the employees drive the plow or the garbage truck or do the pothole filling. This leads to the third issue, appreciation. In Marcel Schwante's article, 7 Brutal Truths of Leadership, not too many people want to hear, Rule 3 was, quote, "Every leader's role should be about serving the employees, those who are closest to the customer experience." First, great leaders realize that their number one customer is their employees. The employees will reach out and take care of the second most important customer, the people who buy the products or services. The city treats its most valuable asset, its employees, cavalierly. There are 2 ways of recognition, non-monetary and monetary. I think the past several iterations of the council have failed in both. There are no slaps in the back in government service, and that's frankly on you. Employees are here for 25 years, and there's no notice by the council. I've watched as department heads such as Ed St. Peter of 46 years, Mike Lemons, 18 years, Jeff LeBon, 33 years, Dan Joyce, 35 years, Chief Leipzig, 31 years, Debbie Salas, 32 years, walk out the door without a whisper by this body for their dedication or loyalty. In the same vein, Carol Stancato has been providing service to this community for 62 years. Why is there no recognition at the 60-year mark? I am quick to add that I appreciate the efforts most of you made for Zorab and for me. I hope they're harbingers of recognitions to come. As for the money side, in those 6 years I was in private practice, I made much more. My bonuses alone paid for my kids' college costs. The Common Council commissioned a compensation study by Carlson Detman. The Common Council chose comparable communities. In 2015, the Common Council approved the implementation of the Carlson Detman compensation study recommendations. There were 3 general findings. 1, city employees were significantly underpaid relative to their neighboring governments, which again, the Common Council chose. There would be a phase-in to get the employees up to the standard called steps over 5 years because the city couldn't afford to get their workforce up to the proper level of compensation. And 3, to keep the 2015 study relevant, all steps had to be adjusted annually for inflation. That promise has not been kept. On the screen, you will see that not only were your employees underpaid in 2015, but they have lost money working for the city in the interim. As you can see, looking at the last line, the non-reps have, since 2015, have had a cumulative effect of 8.259%, where the CPIU has been 25.39%. Failures here, to some extent, some of you talk about taxes, and remember that most of your workforce are the City of Kenosha taxpayers. Your failures to keep them up where they should be have a greater impact on their ability to pay your taxes. You may step up as a council in the future to rectify the negative impacts. I realize that you have been hamstrung and will continue to be hamstrung by levy limits and revenue sharing limitations imposed upon you by the state. But I implore you, not for my sake, because I'm retired, but that you recognize and genuinely appreciate the work our employees do for the city. Compensate them better than you have been, and then please stay out of their way when they do their jobs. I leave you, as my time is expiring, with what one of your colleagues said. In 2016, Alderperson Kurt Wicklund wrote the following as he left office. Dear City of Kenosha staff, I wish to thank you for your unfailing support over the past 2 years. Your professionalism cannot be praised too highly. More than anything else, it is your work that makes Kenosha the solid community that it is. Certainly more than the contribution from us in the political wing. It has been a distinct honor working with you all these past 2 years. I wish all of you nothing but the best going forward. Please pass along these sentiments to anyone I have overlooked in the mailing list. Goodbye and good fortune, Kurt. I thank you all, and again, I appreciate that this wasn't the sweetest message, but it's one that I felt I had to bring to you. So thank you very much. Hope to see you again sometime soon. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, please.